められるのだが、僕としては恥ずかしくて苦手だ。
プレイかな。
貴様、ライト様への自分の尊き忠誠に対してハレンチな呼び方をするな。
All right, my friends, we just got done watching episode number 4 of the Unlimited Gacha 999, and I think the show continues to, I don't want to say get better, but it leveled up on episode number 3. It leveled up quite a bit when the revenge path started to be kind of open up and really become a thing that Light was kind of pursuing, and he kind of is taking the more path of evil and brutish and everything else. And this episode was all about him going out to the overworld, I guess you could say, like the top world, and traveling to a city. He wants to be an adventurer. He wants to make a name for himself, get some renown, and this is going to be his way to have a secondary persona in Dark. Stupid name, but he's gonna have a second persona in Dark, and he's gonna get them renown, and that way he's just gonna be able to have access to more people, right? The more you rank up, if you're rank A or S or whatever it is, you're gonna have access to more. You're gonna have more value, so you're gonna be able to access more people, more races, more things. So, he becomes F rank. He goes and visits his first dungeon, makes a couple little friends. I thought that was a pretty cute thing. Makes some friends and some people that he saves along the way who own a hotel. Very, very just perfect situation there. And then we get introduced to an elf, which is I guess Maestro is an elf, and he is a descendant of Maestro apparently. And because elves are so long lived, their levels have almost not bandwidth, but they have almost no cap, and he's level 1500. So I feel like we kind of went from like level 100s in the wolf guy. Now we maximized all the way to level 1500. Now again, he's 9999, so I mean there's really nobody that's going to be able to do anything about whatever, right? Even if a whole horde or a whole race of elves came and they're all level 1500 or whatever, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But I do think it's a little crazy how we went from level 150 to level 1500. That's a big jump in power skill for his next kind of enemy. But at this point, he's pretty much on top of the world, so there's really no threat to him. The rest of the episode, though, was really, again, just them going through the abyss, saving some friends. We get introduced to Elf, which is probably going to be the next, major arc villain person that he faces. The episode specifically ended with some kind of centipede or grasshopper thing coming to attack them. That's pretty powerful. Really, it's going to pose no threat whatsoever. And then, is there anything else that happened? Oh, the other significant part too is he went to go find his family and go see his family again for the first time, and he found out that his family was slaughtered. But apparently, maybe his siblings are still alive. Somewhere in this world, but that's going to be kind of what his side mission is, making sure that he goes and tries to find any remnants of his family, or the remains or whatever, because there was no remains for his siblings, but his parents seem to be long gone. So he suspects his siblings are still alive, so hopefully he can go and recruit them, find them, something like that. But I'm sure that they're going to be very surprised when he reappears once again. So that was also a major plot point too. Thinking about everything else, I like the elf, the dark elf girl that is kind of in his party. Is she an elf? I'm not sure. Maybe she's not an elf, but the dark skinned girl that's in his party, I thought she was pretty funny. She seems much like a lot of the other characters to be all about light and willing to lick bro head to toe clean if that's what's required of her. And then Gold, which is the gold armor guy. I like him. He's very ho 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 and everything else. I thought that was he definitely is the comedic relief throughout the episode, and will probably be, at least for this little arc that we're on with the elves and dwarves and stuff. So I think that was pretty funny as well too. Yeah, a few other things happened. His mask is really stupid. The elf had moments where she kissed his foot, and there was other little micro events that happened throughout the episode, but those are kind of the core things. So yeah, overall, I think this episode was a 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It was pretty good, and I think it's kind of it elevated itself to a 6.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 anime. It's just kind of keeping that level set. So I think if it just kind of keeps that throughout the season, and then if we get a dub, I don't know if this got a dub yet. Let me check episode 3. Let me check episode 2. There's no dub. If this happens to get a dub, I think that'll elevate it once again to be a more watchable show and have a wider audience. I definitely think this is one that could use a dub for sure. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you next week. Peace.